first question is, I was looking on this pamphlet right here.
Yep.
And one of the things that obviously stuck out to me was reverse racism. Is racism. And so my question to that is, I've always thought too that, although I agree with that, I've always thought too that prejudice and discrimination are inherently tied to, historically rooted and entrenched institutionalized forms of systemic racism, and hierarchies, injustice, and power imbalance. And so my question here is, if you believe in this kind of power structures that have existed and continues to exist, how might you go about reconciling these structures?
Thank you. And did you have a second question too?
Exactly.
Yeah.
The second question is, I'm a pastor, and as a pastor, just as America needs saving, I think pastors also need saving, and part of that starts with fitness. I saw you on Instagram with Logan Paul.
Yeah.
You guys were doing push-ups.
Yeah, that's right.
You did it for boxer.
Yeah.
Yes, when you exchange moral reasoning with moral relativism, you crack the foundations of a society. Recently, Vivi was confronted by a black pastor. According to this article, presidential candidate Vivi showcases his ability to handle tough questions in a town hall setting. He emphasizes the importance of listening and engaging in meaningful discussions about reverse racism. I don't know if you saw this video. It's important I share my thought. When I see this surfacing again on social media, I don't get the point. Why are some people still obsessed with this issue of racism? That is a question that passed through my mind when I saw this video. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please endeavor to do that. And if possible, why not share this video?
Let's start with that. Come here. Count them out, buddy. Let's go. Ready? Ready to go. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3, 4. 10.
There you go. That's good. I didn't even get my workout today. That's good. That's good. That's good. I'm proud of you. That's good. Thank you, man. That's a favor to me. I like that. Did my wife call you beforehand and tell you we had to? She planted that one, didn't she? She said I'm not exercising enough on the campaign trail. She's looking out for me. That's good, man. What's your name? What's your name?
I'm Samuel Anson.
Samuel? Yeah. Samuel? Okay, good to meet you. So I want to address the first question. I think it's great. I think we, as I said in the beginning, we don't have these kinds of open conversations anymore in this country. And so the heart of the question, let me summarize it as, reverse racism is racism. You agree with me on one hand, but on the other hand, how does that account for historical injustices in this country, including power structures that may be based on inequalities grounded in race? It's the heart of the question? Yeah, fair. Thank you. So here's my view on this. Have we been perfect through our national history? Absolutely not. Right? I mean, we had slavery for 160 years. There was a civil war fought over it. Some people learned that later in life than others. But that's okay. But, that's history, right? It's American history. And so the question is, what do we do about it now? So I'll give you my honest, sort of candid feelings about where we are. Was there a time and place for correcting for those past injustices? Yeah, I think it was like in 1870. And did we do a perfect job of it? No, we didn't. But at a certain point in time, I think that what you would think of as racism in this country, or you could fill in the blank, sexism, or any other ism or form of discrimination, it gets to be small enough, not to be zero, but small enough that the best thing we can do is let it atrophy to irrelevance. And if otherwise you try to attack it, it's like an immune system. My background's in biology, so sometimes I think in these kinds of analogies. But it's like an immune system trying to fight a virus. Long after the virus is gone, or almost gone even, it starts to just attack its own organs. That's what I see happening in the country. And so here's my view, to make that kind of abstract reflection a little simpler. Today, the best way to stop discrimination on the basis of race is to stop discriminating on the basis of race. That's what I believe. And I think that in the name of anti-racism, which is a movement that calls out for us to be more race conscious of the differences, to correct for them, I think we've actually created more racism in this country. And it's sad because, so I've started businesses, of multiple different businesses this campaign.
Yes, I think this was amazing. Somebody wrote, that was a fantastic response, Vivek. The pastor's question was earnest, yet you can see how the language of Marxism, specifically dialectic materialism transferred to race, has influenced many Christian faith. The only way to handle is as you did. Highlight American principle, keep move forward. We break down the power structure. The past was worried about not through the perpetual revolutions of Marxism, but through strengthening the Bill of Rights and holding to the declarations of independence. That is somebody respond pertaining to this video. Another one wrote, enough is enough. It isn't red versus blue or white versus black anymore. It is life versus extinction. It is normal people who want to just live their life versus the deep state who want to control every aspect of our lives. We must stand together and reject this at all costs. This is somebody responding to this. He actually said something that I see to be important. It is not about black, white again. We should just live together, confront some of these things happening in the government, like the deep state he mentioned. These are things we should be concerned about, not about issue of racism again. I think we have long passed that area. Another person wrote, good actions, good character, merit and achievement because this is antithetical to their agenda. DEICRTSEL are immoral practices in teaching moral education. Their plan is to change the value system of society. The question isn't what is done, but who did it instead. You can see the shift taking place from equality to equity, from unity to segregation, from democracy to socialism, from individuality to collectivism, from color blindness to racism, and so on. When you exchange moral reasoning with moral relativism, you crack the foundations of a society. This is very important.
Just checking a box. And that hurt me, not because I took it as an insult, because I don't hire people that way, but it hurts me to say that's unfair to her. It's not fair to anybody. It's not just to anybody to stand for a system where we see each other as called upon to see each other on the basis of the color of our skin. And so at a certain point, the right answer is, I think we have to move forward. If we drive with our eyes in the rearview mirror, we're just going to keep crashing the same car and recreating the very thing we wanted it to eradicate. So that's what I believe. And that's why I'm against, what you'll call, what does that refer to? Reverse racism, like affirmative action, right? Quota systems, direct or indirect. I'm against them because I think they're inherently divisive. They're anti-meritocratic. I think they're anti-American at their core. And so you will never, it's kind of like, in a philosophical sense, like the answer to the first question. We're never going to defeat the people who disagree with us by censoring them, by using the tools of the opposition against them. So I say that in the category of speech. Well, we Republicans have been censored, and we have. Conservative speech has been censored, so we're going to come back and censor you. We're never going to win that way because you lose the very thing we're fighting for. So it's the same thing. Well, we experienced racism, now we're going to get racism in reverse. We never win by using the toolkits of the other side. And you're on a higher pay grade than me as a pastor. I'm just running to be president, but you're operating on a different plane. But I think that it's something that you might think of as mercy. At a certain level,